Welcome to the MadTrio podcast. This week with the California Pariah, Jonathan Charney, James, the Fat Man Stevens,
hello,
and Rob, the old guy.
The old guy is here. From the world famous Rob Charney Show.
And Ryan is still nursing some sort of a headache, migraine, coming off of some substance.
Hopefully he doesn't need his own services.
He might.
Yeah, that would be good.
Going to be pickup and delivery for himself.
If he could do that.
He totally would.
He could get a lot of money, and he totally would. Yeah, exactly.
So, the bad news of the week,
the
month, the year.
Oh, no.
Betty White finally kicked the bucket.
Oh, yeah.
And if there's anything funny about Betty White kicking the bucket, which, by the way, there's not, it's the first time I've ever seen a celebrity dying of old age.
And not only that, somebody who is almost
100.
3 weeks short of being 100, and everybody's so sad wanting her to live another 100 years.
It was amazing though, because every celebrity, everybody who dies, they always say, "Oh, it was heart failure, it was cancer, it was diabetes,
it was old age."
And then they said on her, it's like, I'm assuming because she's so beloved, if they said whatever actually caused it, I was like, hey, finally someone who just died of old age. By the way, I guess that Betty White special is going to be rebranded and still come out because she was, let's be honest, she was a legendary TV figure.
Yeah. And there's still stuff that she's already done that actually hasn't been aired yet. So we'll still get to see some new material. The other person, the other person who passed away, for those football fans out there, John Madden also passed away here.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of dwarfed by Betty White passing.
Yeah, a combination. I mean, if you watched any football games here recently, it was they did a number of homages to him and his life and things. And so for the legendary Raiders coach and just an incredible TV personality in the football world, probably learned more about football by watching John Madden than anything else. Not only that, many athletes have said they probably learned more about football by watching John Madden, other than just or playing the Madden football, which I never did, but I hear that's you can learn a lot from playing that game.
And
as well.
I think the first Madden football I think came out for the Sega Genesis.
Yeah,
it was the first one that I think I remember.
Yeah, it's been out for a while, but it was different, lots of generations, and apparently just even I guess within the last couple of years, he did some more updates to Madden football.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if it's from the Sega Genesis, so there's been 3, 4, 5 generations of consoles it's been on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty amazing.
So he was breaking new ground with that as well, and teaching a lot about football. If you wanted.
Yeah, that's what I used to play it on, was the Genesis. I never really played it on any other console. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just never really, I played them on those and I liked it, but after that I was kind of like, me. I'm over it.
Well, it's probably better now than way back then anyway. And also you've got to be a pretty big football nerd, I think, to really want to be involved with it.
Yeah, I'm not a giant football fan. So I did find out something interesting. David Bowie's estate sells his entire body of work in massive publishing deal for roughly worth more than... Again? David Bowie.
Bowie.
What they call him, the White Duke himself, or Skinny Duke, something like that. Somebody sold his catalog for more than $250 million. And
we do this? We did this story about that.
No, this has been other people. Neil Young did it. A couple of members of
Neil Young did what?
Sold his publishing rights.
I'm talking about Bowie, but
no. This is because this is recently. Now, if they sell the publishing rights, does this mean they're signing over his writing credit, or just just master recordings, or
I don't know. I'm assuming it's the copyright to the songs. So either
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so that means either played music, recorded music, other people playing his music, whatever it may be, they have a right to it all.
But he still retains his, so I'm assuming that means his estate still gets writer's credit then, right? Or that's signing over that too? Because that's what I'm kind of curious about.
He'll always get credit for the songs he's written. Well, is that what you mean?
Yeah, like for example, you get points. You actually get money because you're the writer of a song. You get when a song's played or...
Well, you get a royalty off of it. But
would that be signing over all future royalties?
Yeah, that would be signing everything.
Because I know Neil Young did it, and Oh,
well, the Beatles did it decades ago.
And one of your favorite bands did it, the people you got to party with. Fleetwood Mac, a couple of members of them did it.
Yes, one of my very favorite bands of all time, Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, he got to party of it, and there were hookers and blow involved.
I got to no. No.
Oh, maybe that was just Fleetwood Mac.
No, that was no.
Apparently, Twitter is freaking out about the return of Taco Bell's Mexican pizza, which is not Mexican and not pizza.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Why would they do that?
Because apparently there were a bunch of people pissed that the chalupa stayed and the Mexican pizza didn't.
Oh, well, the other thing, and this was who? This is Taco Bell?
Taco Bell.
They made a pizza.
The Mexican pizza, like my sister used to get it when I was a kid. And
I think I knew of it. I don't think I've ever had one.
I never understood the point of it.
They're good, actually.
I hear people that love everything from Taco Bell.
Yeah, the Mexican pizza actually hasn't actually gone away. I don't know why it's there that it's coming back or being gone or whatever. It's been around on their menu forever. At multiple Taco Bells that I've been to, I haven't seen a Taco Bell that doesn't have it recently.
Oh, well, maybe.
So, I don't know. I completely forgot about it, and I was hanging out with a friend of mine in Southern California that I hadn't seen in a long time, and she ordered it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot they had that." So when I got it again, and it's not too bad actually. It's still pretty good, but it's one of their better things on the menu.
The only problem with Taco Bell is it goes through most people like a laser beam.
Well, that's no different than my favorite, which was Jack in the Box's tacos.
Yes, I love their redneck tacos.
Their tacos were great, and what a sad thing to say for Jack in the Box. Of course, I don't eat unhealthy like that anymore, but at the time they were fantastic, and they went away, and everybody got mad, and they brought them back.
Smaller.
Yeah, I think they're bringing back their jumbo. Yeah,
I would still eat them, but considering I have to eat clean, and it's not for personal religious reasons, I got yelled at by a doctor.
Happens when you get old.
Yeah, it's a bitch. Here's something that I found interesting that I don't know if James will find as interesting as the old guy. And this is from Interesting Engineering. I think it's interestingengineering.com. Forgive me if I got that wrong. A reporter is under investigation for using the view source function on a website. They say no good deed goes unpublished. This is a story that illustrates just that. A journalist who accidentally came across the source HTML of a Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education website is now looking at charges of computer tampering, according to the Missouri Governor Mike Parsons, reported by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. This all began when the reporter looked at the view source menu item that lets you see HTML code of a website. By the way, this has been since...
all the browsers have the ability to do that. So
I think even Mosaic, which is the first browser, had that functionality built in. They let you see HTML code of the website. On a web application allowed the public to look up teacher certification, credentials, and discovered that the source code contained the social security numbers of educators. Being a diligent and respectful citizen, they then proceeded to inform the state about the dangerous vulnerability. Once the private numbers were removed from the website, they wrote an expose on the incident. This led to Governor Parsons announcing a criminal investigation into the reporter and the Post-Dispatch.
Yeah, all right.
Which...
They're overreaching.
Well, I mean, for one, reporters, you have a lot of rights as a reporter. And I think this would be a constitutional violation and his or her rights.
It won't go anywhere. That governor is full of crap.
But that's amazing, though. And
Whoever that may be.
here's listen to this. If somebody picks your locks on your house for whatever reason, it's not a good lock. It's a cheap lock or whatever your problem might have. They do not have the right to go into your house and take anything that belongs to you, Parsons said, and an arguably misguided statement. By the way, this is a guy that doesn't know how the tubes work. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So now I'm curious why their social security numbers are posted on the view source. That's my issue. that's not the teacher's fault, and that's not the reporter's fault for those being there.
And the teachers need to sue the state for infringing upon their personal information by having those anywhere on that website.
So by the way, I don't really know how websites work anymore. I used to do it years ago. My assumption is that the database issue within the website
could be. Could be still that they shouldn't be interconnected. It should not be.
Well, this is
should be sandboxed.
The other thing is, how many people knew about this but didn't say it?
Yeah, well, there's the other thing. I mean,
because that's the number one thing.
Nefarious things could have easily been done to all those poor teachers with their social security numbers out there for everybody to pick on.
I mean, by the way, if you're a hacker, just like hitting view source is kind of like, okay, let's see what happens.
That's kiddie stuff. That's
let's look and see what we can do.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's
hell.
ridiculous.
If you block the JavaScript on most websites with pop-ups that require logins, you actually bypass that login so you can read the news story.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
they're gotten better at it now.
Not by much. But that reminds me, when I worked for Hollywood Video, Sherman set the Wayback Machine. So back in the day, that's actually how you logged in. That's how you clocked into Hollywood Video back in the day, is by entering your social security number. And amazingly, I never thought about it at the time, anybody in the public could see it. Because, up front, Hollywood Video had these computer screens. There was, on the one I worked for, there were 6 computers total, or 8 computers total, 4 on one side, 4 on the other. And anybody could actually see the screens. So if you were lucky, you could actually see all the employees' social security numbers.
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, a lot less sensitive now than it was back then. But yes, that's not a good thing.
So that surprised me, though, just by view
not
source.
Good. Yeah.
And the overreach by the government, instead of saying whatever contractor wrote it, saying, hey, you fucked up big time, and you're going to pay for LifeLock, security alert.
I think we'll hear more of the story as time goes on. So I came across something. I have not even looked at this yet. Real quick, it says the 20 best bad movies of all times. So
wait, hold on, Melanie, you got to listen to this because I know you love Rob's listicles.
I've got 2 other listicles besides this one. So let's go through this real quick. Let's see where this really goes.
Let's not give that poor woman too much excitement.
So, I've got one for her. I got a real good one for her today. But anyway, so the 20 best bad movies. So they start, looks like 1936 with Reefer Madness.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if the schools ever showed you that one, but
I've seen it.
I actually saw it
in school. At school, yeah. I've seen it. I saw it outside of school. And by the way, y'all stoners need to watch it.
That's pretty funny.
It's hilarious.
So there's 1959, Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Isn't that, who was the director on that?
I have no idea. It's got me. But
didn't they make a movie about that guy?
Maybe. So Santa Claus, this 1964, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. I've never even heard of that one.
I haven't heard of that one either.
1966, Manos, The Hands of Fate.
Ed Wood. Plan 9 from Outer Space is Ed Wood.
Oh, now that you mention that. 1975, The Giant Spider Invasion.
I love monster movies, and I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, I know. Here's one, though, we've all heard of. 1981, Mommy Dearest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen it, but
it's more of a docudrama than a movie. Anyway, 1986, Maximum Overdrive.
Oh, that movie's hilarious.
1986, Howard the Duck.
That movie was amazingly perverted.
That movie's creepy as hell.
My favorite scene, there's 2 favorite scenes in that movie. Is one when she opens the wallet and she sees a condom.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is a movie that was quasi for children.
It was for children. I mean, Howard the Duck. Okay, 1987, Masters of the Universe.
Oh God! I remember when my parents took me to the theater on that one. I loved it as a kid. I still like it, but holy shitballs, that film ages like milk.
Oh.
By the way, still fun.
Still fun. How about 1987, Ishtar?
Ishtar. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Is it live action?
Yeah. No, it's with Dustin Hoffman and somebody else. I don't know, but anyway. All right, let's keep moving. We'll move this one along. 1988, Mac and Me.
Oh, yes. It came around the same time as E.T.
Ah, yes. That's kind of why Mac looked like E.T. in a way, huh?
If ET hadn't, it looked like ET had a couple extra chromosomes.
Something.
It was an off-brand ET.
1989. Now here's one I'm not sure I agree with. Roadhouse. Now it wasn't the best movie, but it was. I've seen it a few times, which means it couldn't have been the worst.
So it's a cult classic, as in it's a traditional '80s kick-ass movie that has no rhyme or reason. And you have Patrick Swayze
and Sam Elliott.
Yep. And Sam Elliott. So it was the first role that I remember seeing Patrick Swayze in, that both the men and women would go, for different reasons. Also, one of my all-time favorite wrestlers is in that movie, by the way. Terry Funk.
Terry Funk.
The Funker himself.
Yeah. 1990, Troll 2.
It's Cool World's got to be on this list of bad movies.
Well, let's see. Well, we're going to keep, because we're learning this all together here. 1993, Super Mario Brothers.
Yes. Oh, but a little bit of tidbit. The two stars, tidbit. The two stars got fairly hammered on a regular basis, apparently, because that movie was so bad during production.
No, I'm pretty sure Cool World was already. What year are you at? 93.
Well, right now we're in 93, and so...
Yeah, so if they're going by a year, Cool World should already
Should be right there. I don't know, maybe. Let's see what the next one is. No, 1995. And this one was pretty bad. Showgirls. I don't know. And what was the girl's name that did it?
Elizabeth. Was it Elizabeth Banks?
Berkeley. Elizabeth Berkeley. She just lost her.
That was supposed to widen her horizons.
It widened something, but it wasn't her career. And it was terrible.
I've always wanted to see it, but I could never get past the title. This looks awful.
I don't know. Okay, 1998. Spice World. That's the movie with the Spice Girls, which was not very good.
I never saw it.
So I've seen it a couple of times. It's, by the way, this
couple of times?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is.
That's what I was for a second there, Rob, too. Like, wait a second. A couple times?
Yeah. I know.
Hey, the Spice Girls were hot. But it was all done.
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse that.
It was super tongue in cheek. The movie didn't take itself too seriously, so I think it's one of those things. If you thought you got what you paid for, you knew it was going to be a shit movie because you're hearing their music if you're a fan. And that's pretty much what it is.
I'll let you slide on that one then. Yeah. We got to be getting closer. 2003. I'm losing my voice again. Excuse me. 2003. The Room. What the heck is The Room? The story of how The Room came to be immortalized in the 2017 comedy Disaster Artist. Oh, never mind. I don't even know what it is. Who was in it?
I don't know either.
Tommy 2003, Tommy Wiseau, Greg something, a bunch of people I don't actually know.
Wow.
So here's the, hold on.
That's got to be, yeah, go ahead.
Give me a second. Let me see if IMDb
This is going to be really close to the end of 20 movies already, right?
So Johnny is a successful bank executive who lived quietly in San Francisco townhouse with his fiancée Lisa. One day, putting aside any scruples, she seduces Johnny's best friend, Mark. From there, nothing will be the same again. It sounds like a bad plot to a soap opera.
Yeah, all right. So that's a good reason why that's in there. How about 2006, The Wicker Man?
Oh, God. Wicker Man was terrible.
I never saw it. I vaguely remember that movie.
How did you not see Wicker Man?
I don't remember seeing it.
Wow,
that's the Nicolas Cage movie, right? Yeah. Yeah. Nicolas Cage.
I would say I have selective taste, but I can't say that. I haven't seen Spice Girl.
We're getting closer. 2010.
That's a horror movie. That's probably why.
Birdmedic, Shock and Terror.
But repeat that?
Birdmedic.
Birdmedic?
Birdmedic.
I thought you had a stroke there for a second.
Birdmedic, Shock and Terror. Well, obviously that's a bad one.
If you can't
even pronounce it.
Yes, to say if you can't pronounce it, that's how good of a movie it was.
I was watching. The guy who was in Shawshank Redemption.
Tim Robbins?
No.
Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman. He was talking on a Graham Norton show talking about Shawshank Redemption did not do well in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
And he said the reason why is because if you can't pronounce the name of the movie, it's not going to go well in the movie theaters.
Do you know why it made money though? Why it became a cult classic? Because Turner channels were playing it every like every third hour.
Actually, it was a good movie.
It is.
It is a good movie. It was a good. All right, here we go. Last one, 2013. I guess this list didn't go very far. Sharknado. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, but that was done bad on purpose.
I tried to watch Sharknado because it's like a cult classic and everything. I just did not get past the first 10 minutes.
I wasn't far behind you.
I got 10 minutes in and maybe even less, and I just shut it off. I'm like, I'm done.
I bet if you were slightly intoxicated or heavily intoxicated, it might be fun.
Yeah, but in the world of B movies, this was a D movie, and even then you couldn't.
Yeah.
You probably fall asleep. But anyway, so that's the 20 best bad movies of all times, according to some place.
Best bad movies?
Best bad movies, yeah. The best bad movies.
If she wasn't a woman, Dolly Parton says she would have been a drag queen. Dolly Parton. By the way, this is from Edge Media Network. I have no idea if this is true, but I got a good chuckle at work. Dolly Parton admits that if she weren't a woman, she would have been a drag queen. In the conversation about girl power in the music industry from the recent Unearthed interview on WWNO's American Routes in 2000, Parton discussed girl power in country music and ended with that clincher. Asked if she ever, she asked, gee, thanks, website, for just doing a freaking pop-up right in the middle of the funny thing, and then you just kind of kill it. Asked if she was intended to make a statement for women in country music or did it just kind of happen. She said, well, it's always kind of served me well being a girl. I guess I always knew how to talk to men, how to be with men, how to deal with men, because I have my father and I have 6 brothers. So I know the true nature of men. But I thought that was hilarious because it's the greatest headline I've seen involving Dolly Parton that didn't involve her chest.
So,
well, okay. I mean, that's, yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah. Well,
I just wonder, like, if her and RuPaul would be friends, if she was a drag queen. I don't know if they are friends. They probably are, actually.
Probably.
Yeah.
Who knows? Very strange things happen.
So this is from James, just real quick on Collider.com. Ron Perlman reveals Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is set in Mussolini's Italy. But apparently they don't mention the release date, but it's supposed to release on Netflix. I know it's a movie James has been talking about for a while.
So now, is it still in the works? Because you just put out Nightmare Alley. So, I mean,
so Ron Perlman recently said in the
works for what, like 20 years?
Yeah. Ron Perlman recently sat down with Inverse to discuss Nightmare Alley and has shared about the upcoming adaptation, including his role in the film and its setting, which looks to be taking a more personal and historic approach to the well-known fable. Perlman, who plays the name I can't pronounce, the father of Italy, who is pro-fascist, he attempts to allure Pocahontas. Pinocchio. I swear, officer, I've only had 2 drinks. To the countries a cause coming. So it looks like it's either in the works or still going to be filmed or in the can. As of now, the 2022 will bring forth 2 Pinocchio films with Disney set to release a live action for Disney. The project will yada, yada, yada. So it sounds like it's still going to happen, which is surprising considering I remember hearing about this when we started Real Flicks Reviews.
Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. I guess you'll find out when it finally gets released. Of course, with COVID.
Yeah, I do want to check out Nightmare Alley. That one looks pretty good, but and now you're saying Ron Perlman is in Pinocchio or he was in Nightmare Alley?
Both.
That's what I'm confused.
He's in both.
Okay.
Let's be honest. Ron Perlman doesn't know how to say no, which, by the way, for his credit, it's not a bad thing.
Guy's got to make a living, man.
Yeah. Well, he was in Sons of Anarchy for 8 seasons. He needs something that's not. He needs a regular work. Now he's not making TV money.
I guess you get used to spending $1 million a month.
It was probably his. It was probably his divorce
cigar.
that. His divorce probably killed him. He probably had to slow down his smoking.
Yeah, probably, huh? Just on cigars.
So let's Actually, we're going to take a break real quick so we can get to the listicle for Melanie. So, ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned. Today's show is brought to you by Audacity. The game where dignity is overrated. Go to ODDASSITY.com. That's ODDASSITY.com. Pick up a card game from this website or selected stores. That's Audacity, the unforgettable party game for mischievous people. And just for you...
For all you audience members out there wondering, that is not me making those creaking noises on the chair. That's either Rob or John.
Yeah,
okay?
Just
putting that out there.
It's not Rob either.
It's me. The chair's rather squeaky, but... Before I was rudely interrupted,
we need to be oiled.
I want you to do me a favor. Go to, when you purchase anything from Audacity.com, I want you to type in MadTrio, all one word, all caps, for 10% off your final order, which means you can actually buy 2 packs, get a good chunk off change off, and then give one to a friend. And make sure you tell them the MadTrio sent you. And now we can continue talking about the squeaking.
Or not. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep the big list I was going to make for Melanie for next week. And this week I got another one, though, just for two things. One is the headline reads that Chipotle, everybody knows Chipotle.
White people food.
Takes the meat out of chorizo.
What?
Yeah, how do you do that, James?
They take the meat out or pick the meat out?
No, Chipotle is saying that they're removing meat out of chorizo.
Now, what I would assume they were doing is they're replacing it with some type of bean.
Yeah, so they're taking the meat out and they're putting in some kind of plant-based food in its place.
Like Taco Bell.
So I'm thinking they're doing like something like replacing it with like some mashed bean that they add or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. If that's the only way they could really do it, or some type of soy. Can
they really call it chorizo, though? I mean, let's face it. That's just fake chorizo.
White people will say yes. Every Mexican I know is gonna flip, or Latino.
So I guess Chipotle offers a number of plant-based spiced tofu type of things in their menu. Have not eaten in a Chipotle for a decade. I have no idea.
The funniest thing about in our area, I don't understand why anybody would eat at Chipotle, because there's like 25 Mexican restaurants that are really good in our area.
And half of them are authentic.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't know.
Well, okay. Now, everyone complains about...
Because we talked about Taco Bell. Yeah, we were just...
Bell.
Yeah.
Now, when I eat Chipotle, that's when I'm running to the bathroom. So...
Yeah, well, they did have a listeria problem for quite a while, so that took them a while to clean up.
Taco Bell has the perfect slogan, wasn't it? South of the border or whatever it was. I mean, I think that's what
I hear that bell.
I think that's what they're talking about. The south of the border is the fact it goes through you. Chipotle is white people food. I've never seen anybody who's.
I have no idea.
I'll have to ask some of my friends if they've ever eaten there.
Somebody must eat there because they're still around. And when you go by, you see bodies in there. So there's got to be something about
my
them.
friends of Hispanic origins.
Oh, there you go.
they probably go to, Fresh Max or the Carnival.
The Taqueria.
That one is. And Foristo and Little Tijuana. And then there's another one over across the street from Bel Air that's like a Mexican market and restaurant.
Like I said, they're all over the place, and most of them are really
pretty good. Yeah.
Apparently, the new Matrix movie did so bad. I read a quote that said, "This will be the last."
So, having watched it this New Year's Eve, I watched the new Matrix movie.
You poor unfortunate soul.
We had some friends over and wanted something to do, and I thought, hey, great idea. Let's watch the new Matrix.
So you could have done a fondue pot. You could have played cheesy.
I know. We probably could have. Because the fact is, well, first of all, you have to think back, because there's no trying to catch you back up at what took place 20 years ago. So, and honest to God, I forgot a lot of it. And the friends we were with totally forgot it because they couldn't understand anything. And then I'm trying to explain part of it. And then, anyway, long story short, not very good, unfortunately, because I'm a big Keanu Reeves
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that Sam?
So I did want to add. Well, hold on.
Thing I want to say about it before John goes on his terrible movie rant.
This wasn't a rant. I was just saying there was only one Wachowski involved in this.
Oh, okay. So it was only half a good movie.
So that was to say that was the only thing I said. This wasn't both of them.
Go ahead, James.
Is that the beginning, the first hour of it? I think you have to think is that it's self-aware that it's not going to be a great movie, and the fact that Keanu Reeves was looped into doing it to just make it a Matrix movie. Now, that being said, I still thought it was a fun movie if you don't take it seriously.
So
if you just think of it as a reboot that they kind of forced it, and that's kind of the joke about the whole thing is that in the first half of the movie, you kind of see Keanu Reeves being like, well, they're making me make this game even though I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And in the sense of they're making me do this movie because they're wanting to reboot this shit for no apparent reason. That's what I thought was pretty funny about it. And then once you get that in your head, it kind of becomes a fun movie.
So I'm a huge fan sorry.
And then the fact that, I mean, they didn't have the original characters for a lot of it. I mean, the original actors, not characters. They do have the original characters. Quote unquote.
They got the two.
They didn't have Lawrence Fishburne,
no.
Right? So he wasn't in it because there was another guy playing Morpheus.
It was Trinity and Neo were the only people who originally, at least from the trailer I saw. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Wachowskis. I love their version of Speed Racer. They've done a lot of movies that I like. As soon as I saw they were doing this, the second and third one movies were awful. So it sounds like they're kind of tongue-in-cheek on this one. Did they take themselves serious, James, or was this as tongue-in-cheek as you?
I didn't think they did. And it was basically Keanu Reeves playing a serious comedy role.
So maybe they should have put that disclaimer in the first part of the movie saying, hey, this is Keanu Reeves playing a comedy role.
If you pay attention to the lines that Keanu Reeves was throwing out, you would have caught it. Because it's basically like he's just complaining and bitching about having to do this. And so, John, you haven't seen it, but they refer to the Matrix movies as games. So Keanu Reeves is basically... Neo basically made all of his memories of his battles in the first three Matrixes as video games.
Right. Yeah.
Not movies, but video games. And so then when you realize that, then you realize all the jokes he's making about being forced to make a new game and trying to come up with it as him basically saying, well, shit, they're making me do this movie.
So this sounds more like in the vein of Ghostbusters, where they took it serious, but it was a comedy.
Yeah.
See, now James makes me kind of want to see it because it sounds hilarious. Because when I first saw it, being a fan of the Wachowskis and just it's just like and hating the second Matrix movie, the second and third Matrix movies, it's just like I couldn't see this. However, one of my favorite times in theaters has been watching the Matrix movies.
I had to watch the second and third one multiple times to get any enjoyment out of them. Although, I mean, I still get no. I mean, a 9-minute death scene. I'm never going to get over that. So anyway.
Favorite moment in cinema ever?
I think that if you watch the second and third one a few times, you kind of get to understand where the Wachowskis were going for them. I still stand by the first one as probably one of the best movies made. Not saying it's like perfect movie. It's nowhere near Blazing Saddles, but I mean, I still stand by it as one of the best movies ever made because it's a trip if you really think about some of the things they say and they introduce into that movie world.
And it was revolutionary. So, I mean, that's not that not only for the facts, but the type of storytelling they were doing it. It was, I mean, stuff like that's been in anime for prior to that, but doing it live action, that was a brilliant movie.
Yeah, so in this one, I think it's a fun one. I still don't. I mean, they left it open to make more, which is terrible.
So I read that they're not going to do anymore because I guess it just was so bad that they decided not to do it again.
Yeah,
Anyway, it's all right with me. So that, of course, this is not real flicks review, so we'll move along.
Yeah. So, I had something I was going to bring up.
All right.
So have you heard of, let me pull up the lady's name, Miriam Elizabeth Rodriguez Martinez. Now, that is a mouthful. I didn't even know it was that long.
There's a lot of vowels.
Yeah. So this lady from San Fernando, sorry, I was reading.
San Fernando Valley.
Figure out how to pronounce the second part. So San Fernando, Tamaulipas, obviously, South America. She tracked down 10 gang members who were involved in her daughter's murder.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah.
And turned over some to the police. And, she went on a personal vendetta of 3 years tracking down different gang members in these cartels to get vengeance for her daughter's murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, totally, this woman is badass.
No kidding. How about gutsy, man?
What gang was it?
Let me pull it up. The Zeta Cartel.
Whoa.
Yeah, she tracked these guys down and got I don't know if it was a Mexican police officer. Hold on, I'm trying to find out where it said that in the article. I read it earlier. Where did it go?
Talk about having brass balls.
Yeah.
Or ovaries in her case.
He ended up being shot to death, but she got 10 of these guys and got them all put behind bars. Yeah.
Wow.
Changed her hair color, her appearance, and went on this whole vengeance and found her. She was shot dead on Mother's Day 12 times. I guess she really pissed them off.
I guess so.
He seemed like he was pissed off. I was
Jeez.
like,
well, I'm sorry to hear that happened to her, but good on her for what she did.
Good on her for going after these guys. Like, you're going to fucking kill my daughter, I'm going to find you, and you are going to pay.
Yeah. Wow.
I was kind of hoping it would end like the last Rambo movie. But, it's probably better that she didn't go all buck crazy and kill a bunch of cartel members.
Anyway. So good for her.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway. So, all right. So here we go. I've got
you can't disappoint Melanie. You got to do a listicle.
I have 10, actually, maybe if I keep reading 14 things, but 10 good uses for salt. Now, we all like to put salt on most of our foods, and it brings out the flavor, and we can't live without salt. We need to have it. It's healthy for us. As long as we don't go overboard, we have to have salt, and so it's a good thing. But there's 10 other uses for salt than just throwing it on your food. Did you know that you can deter ants by sprinkling salt across areas where they come and move across? If you put salt there, they won't cross it. Now, you'd have to circle your whole house completely with about 2 feet of salt to stop them from coming in. But, hey, that's one idea. So the doorways and windowsills, maybe.
So all my friends who claims to be Wiccans, that's what really they were doing with all that salt.
They were trying to keep ants out. That's right. That's what they were
not trying to do witchcraft.
You can kill grass and weeds from growing in the cracks of your driveway by, sprinkling salt.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So you sprinkle salt on the grass and pour very hot water over the salt on the grass, and it becomes a very highly effective way to kill weeds or unwanted plants.
I actually knew that from high school history or middle school when they talk about what Rome did to somebody.
Huh. Well, okay. So I know you have problems with fleas, John. So you could say goodbye to fleas. If your dog has fleas, simply wash wash your dog houses and blankets in salt water. Okay. Well, that's a good one. How about if you drop an egg on the floor? If you drop an egg on the kitchen floor, sprinkle salt on the mess and leave it for about 20 minutes. You're able to wipe it right up. Now, why you can't wipe it up anyway, I don't understand, but that's what...
Oh, salt is a disinfectant. They used to salt the tables back in the day.
Well, yeah, true, but I don't think that's why they're doing it here. Maybe, I don't know.
It's not exactly, it doesn't exactly absorb shit.
Clean up oven spills quickly. I guess if a pie...
Yeah. John, salt does absorb shit.
It does absorb shit, literally.
Not table salt. Not like that. That's what, if you use rock salt, it does, but it wouldn't.
It's salt.
Iodized salt, if you use it in a large quantity, will absorb moisture and pull out things like that.
It sounds like it's a really good waste of salt if you're gonna pour enough to cover an egg.
Yeah, fortunately, we're not running out of salt anytime soon. So.
That you know of.
Clean up oven spills quickly. If a pie or casserole that we all of us, the three of us here, know that we're cooking all the time. Bubbles over in the oven. Pour a handful of salt on top of the spill. It won't smoke, smell, and most importantly, will bake into a crust that makes the mess easier to clean once it's cooled.
Hey, I cook a lot. I just use paper towels.
Okay, whatever. You cook a lot of pies. I know that. All right, off your. So all three of us probably use an iron every day. We're busily ironing our clothes, right?
That's it. I want.
Simply sprinkle salt on a sheet of waxed paper, slide the iron across it, and rub lightly with silver polish. Why do you need salt if you're going to use silver polish? This list is weird. Anyway.
Wait, silver polish for clothing?
For your iron.
I'm confused.
To make the face of your iron nice and shiny and smooth,
okay.
See? Yeah, you use silver polish on your clothes when you're trying to put in that crease into those pair of slacks.
The last time I used an iron, Mom did it.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
That was a long time ago, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just reading the list here. It's just, okay, you can remove stains from your coffee pot. This is an old restaurant trick that I know James knows. Quarter cup of salt. Table salt with dozens of ice cubes, and you run it around on those glass coffee pot things all the time. We used to do that. It cleans really well, actually. Yeah. I don't know if they now they have all those cleaning tablets and everything, so I'm not sure that you need them as much, but salt works fine. Now here's one that we can all use. Keep your windshield frost free. Dip a sponge into salt water and rub it on the windows, and they won't frost up even when the mercury drops below 0. Now, the salt's not very good on your car in the long run, but heck, your windshield, it won't get frosted up. This list, where did I get this?
Hey, don't look at me.
So here's another one.
You didn't get it from my ass.
Boy, I'm going to question where I know exactly where I got this. I read where the source was. It was the Salt Institute. Anyway.
You're getting awfully salty on this list.
Jeez. Shell nuts more easily. Soak pecans and walnuts in salt water for a few hours before shelling them. Doing so will make it easier to remove the meat and also give you a nice salty taste to your nuts. That's pretty good.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I guess. Drip-proof candles. We need that drum. You can make drip-proof candles. Yeah, soak new candles in strong salt solutions for a few hours, then dry them well, and they won't drip.
Well, you're thinking about what other things you can use for salt. Just listen to this. Do you want to keep up to date on the maddest of the mad at the MadTrio podcast? Check out our social media feeds on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or go to themadtrio.com.
I got, even though it's a top 10 list, I actually have 4 more things we can end on. And one of them is actually very good. So, tame a wild barbecue. So, flames, one of the best things if you get a flame either in a pot or a pan or on your barbecue to put out that doesn't ruin the barbecue. If you hit it with a fire extinguisher or something in your kitchen, it's pretty much ruined. You got to take it's salt. Salt works really well as knocking out those flames.
Baking soda.
Yeah, baking
and
soda.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
It all works. It all works. Smooth a bee sting. Yeah, with the sting right away and cover it with salt.
That sounds.
They say it works.
Sounds like it would hurt.
Grease fire. Yeah. And cooking tip is soup or a stew is too sweet. Add a pinch of salt, which I'm going to put in anyway. But anyway, thank you to the Salt Institute. They're probably saying you can put salt in anything, on anything, for anything. So that's the new phrase for the Salt Institute.
Do you have a relative you need to preserve? Use salt.
Hey, the Egyptians did, and so you can certainly it'll work.
Is your aunt a little too fresh? So another
thing's beginning to smell.
Yeah. So
use salt.
Salt cured.
That's right. And if you get your clothes wet in salt water, they won't dry. Never mind. That's an inside joke.
So another thing from Interesting Engineering, and this is something I've been waiting for actually to see an actual study. Scientists have officially confirmed the benefits of MDMA and Ptsd treatment, otherwise known to all you party people as ecstasy and Molly. For people with post-traumatic stress disorder, recalling memories of physical or sexual assault, combat, or disaster-related events can induce intense anxiety or panic attacks, as well as debilitating flashbacks. In the U.S., 7% of the people suffer from PTSD and lose average about 4 working days each month. Whoa.
So, in other words, if you get high or...
So MDMA is an active ingredient in the illicit street drug. So
ecstasy, right?
Yeah, ecstasy and Molly. So this is a new thing. They're finding out that now they're doing ketamine treatments that's supposed to help people with PTSD and depression. I've heard not acid, but other things like some hallucinogens have been helping. So that's just another thing to finding out that some of these harder street drugs actually have a beneficial purpose.
They've been saying that about wild mushrooms or psilocybin for a while now, that it also helps with certain things. But
Ron White quit drinking.
And just started taking psilocybin. Yeah.
No, he did some. I forgot what it's called, but he did some sort of like hallucinogen treatment. Like he drank it, and you're seeing all sorts of crazy shit. There's a Joe Rogan podcast where he talks about it, and I guess it helped him just quit drinking entirely.
Oh, good on Ron. Is he as funny?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It might ruin his comic
Call
career.
him Tater Salad and find out.
So in an MDMA-assisted psychotherapy sessions, patients take MDMA as a pill upon entering a psychiatrist's office and then work with a team of therapists who help them divulge traumatic events or discuss aspects of these events over the course of several hours. Oh, that makes sense. So basically what it does is it releases the hormones or chemicals in the brain. I don't remember which. So that probably trigger mechanism is probably making a much more enjoyable experience instead of bringing up all those bad memories.
Enjoyable? I don't know that I'd use that word, but
it's probably a lot better than you're talking about some sort of PTSD. It probably makes it at least a little bit more enjoyable than having anxiety attacks, because that makes sense.
Maybe less traumatic. Okay.
I'm guessing here. I do know that overuse of MDMA can majorly affect the brain. I've watched a bunch of back in the mid 90s, late 90s, there was a couple of documentaries about ravers and what it actually puts holes in the brain if you use it too much, because it's releasing serotonin. I think so. That's what it does.
Sure.
But I saw that the other day and I was like, oh, this is interesting. We got to talk about that, because they're starting to have all sorts of stuff now that alternative treatments for things.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if it's helpful and it works, it's perfectly fine. I think there's a number of things that probably have been banned or outlawed at one time because it was misused or not used in a proper manner that could be found to be useful now. So there's no reason why it couldn't be. Look
at like the 60s. Smoking weed was a felony. Now, now it's pretty much legal in most states. Oh, by the way, the first head of the elite SEAL Team 6 has died. I don't know if I remember listening to one. I think he wrote a bunch of books. And I remember as a kid listening to the audio book, and my dad was amazed at the amount of cussing per sentence.
Yeah. What was that book? I forgot. Anyway.
Was it Rogue Warrior?
Okay.
Because I remember thinking, listening to it later on in life, that the guy punctuates each sentence with a curse word.
Yeah.
It was amazing for the amount of cuss words per sentence.
It's funny that one of the joke about with all the special forces operators nowadays is the joke of the SEALs and SEAL Team 6. They're not necessarily the most elite out of the group, and it seems like every one of them wants to write a book. And, the rest of the operators just go, it's not happening.
So the guy who allegedly killed Bin Laden, I've heard, and I don't know how much is true, I've heard he's not really well liked in the SEALs, because I guess there was an interview with a SEAL who said, that the secret to the SEALs is we're not supposed to say shit.
Yeah.
You know we exist, but you don't know what we did.
Anyway, that's just something I read recently.
I don't know. I think that's hilarious.
So after 4 years of near silence, one of London's most famous landmarks rang out just in time to mark the new year. Does everybody know what that is? Big Ben. Yeah. So the iconic clock tower near the River Thames rang in the new year with all of its dials and display. It's the first major event where the clock face has been on display since the tower began lengthy repairs in 2017. 4 years ago, the tower began the most costly repairs in its 160-year history with a price tag of about $107 million. During repairs, the crews found extensive damage to the clock from the Nazi bombing campaign in World War II. Will you stop that? Adding more time and money to the project. So, Big Ben is back.
A price tag of $100 million.
$107 million.
That's still, so what? I mean, that's probably double in U.S. money, but relatively speaking, fixing...
It's 79 pounds, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or euros, but...
that's actually not a bad price tag for when you're talking about something that's a historical landmark.
Well, maybe that's why it took 4 years. They hired a couple of guys off the street, and they just took a while to learn the whole thing. Where do you find somebody? Hey, I need a Big Ben repairman. They dial them up or something.
They hired a couple of guys from Jersey. Hey, I'm working here.
Who knows? That would be funny if they hired some Americans to work and fix Big Ben.
That would be pretty funny.
They were probably scabs because they couldn't allow having union issues.
Clock specialists. I need a clock specialist. Can you look them up?
Oh, so I saw this ad today, and I don't know when this is, but it's from probably the 50s. Keep baby safe with a Lullaby baby car hammock. Safe, most comfort car bed ever made. Fits any hard top car, 1 minute installation for $6.95, and it's literally a picture of a baby going from like door to door, a hammock door to door, and the baby's in it. So imagine it's just swinging.
Of course.
Well, that was back in the day with the airbag was your dad's hand if he loved you,
or your mom's.
True.
Yeah.
If they the back of the hand too.
Yeah, well, that too.
James is familiar with the back of the hand.
The back of the hand.
This is kind of the lightning round, and I thought this was interesting. Netflix will be required to stream 20 state TV channels in Russia.
In Russia.
So what it is Putin went to Reed Hastings and said, if you want to be in Russia, you will do this.
Probably. I don't know. You look at some of these, I have this thing for lists, and there's another one. It's just, these are the worst movies of all time. They start at 100. And I got to tell you, some very strange.
Can you do the top 10?
Yeah, let's see. Top 10. I could do, let's see, real quick. I mean, it seems to be a movie night tonight, so we'll start at the back 100. So in 2011, there was a movie called A Love Affair of Sorts. Director was David Guy Levy.
Which and
I guess it fits for me.
It went straight to aluminum.
It did. And then in 2013, a movie called The Moment. Okay, let's see.
Are these supposed to be released to theaters or VHS?
Well, these are supposedly, I don't know. 2012, The Cold Light of Day.
I've heard of that.
That is a Sigourney Weaver, Bruce Willis movie. Must have been really bad. Wow. Really bad.
That's hilarious.
I mean, how do you go wrong with this? Keep doing alien movies. Right? Why do a movie so bad that with the both of them are she's still a failure?
She's dead.
Oh,
well, unless you count Aliens 4, and then you could do a fifth movie.
That's true. Yeah. So
she's now a human-alien hybrid, which, by the way, Bush made illegal. Sorry.
2014, The Dark House. I don't know. It's
Dark House?
Yeah. 2011, Passion Play. Now that looks like a porn movie.
Debbie gives it one thumb up.
Oh, no. Bill Murray, Mickey Rourke, Megan Fox. Wow.
It sounds like an awful movie, let's be honest.
No wonder, huh? Well, Mickey Rourke doesn't look anything like Mickey Rourke used to. What a shame.
Debbie gives it one thumbs up.
Max Steel. You ever heard of that? 2016.
It's a kid movie.
Yep.
All right.
It's a kid's cartoon. Kids live action is based off a cartoon.
Okay.
So automatically make it bad.
2010, Brothers Justice. Looks like Dax Shepard's in it. David Palmer.
Is it a Western?
Yeah, exactly. It's a Western. 92, Beneath the Darkness from 2012. Jeez. Yeah, I can see why these are all considered the 100 worst movies.
Why you looked at my horse funny, stranger.
Here's 2011, Big Mamas, Like Father, Like Son.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Martin Lawrence movie. Yeah, that answers that. Getaway, 2013. Courtney Solomon was the director. Yay.
What was who was in the last one?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, keep going.
Well, the one with the Big Mama one was Martin Lawrence.
We're the wrong audience for that.
Yeah, no kidding. 2016, God's Not Dead.
Oh, Christian movie.
That answers that. No wonder.
Kevin Sorbo was in that movie.
Oh.
Kevin Sorbo and the guy who played Superman. I don't remember his in the 90s. Christian movies.
Melissa Joan Hart, Robin Givens, Ernie Hudson. That's who's in it, John. So that's the wrong cast.
So that's God Not Dead too.
Two. You got it. You're right. Why would you know that? That's a shame, John.
No, because I know Christian movies because they're all awful, and God's Not Dead was the first. The first one was the first Christian movie that was actually pretty good. By the way, the first one had Dean Cain, Kevin Sorbo, and there's a really famous band with one of the former singers of DC Talk, and I don't remember their name at the moment.
We'll do a couple more and we can wrap this show up. That one's pretty. Shark Night 3D, 2011. Yeah, okay. And then Martyrs from 2016. I don't even want to look at that one. That's what she said. Okay. All right. Well, gee, that was just, they're absolutely right. These are definitely in the top 100 of the worst.
The fact is a Christian movie in 100 of the worst, and it was God's Not Dead too. Really? You guys have so many other Christian movies to pick from that are so crappy. You picked that? There's one with Steve Sting Borden that's awful, which, by the way, owns the Sting trademark. Oh. Not the singer, a wrestler.
Did you ever see the 2014 movie with Robin Williams called The Angriest Man in Brooklyn?
No.
I didn't either. That's in it, which is unusual for Robin Williams.
Towards the end of his life, if that's when it was,
Might have been, I don't know.
I remember reading he was having a hard time getting roles. So it may be why he was becoming a little bit more adventurous, because he just wasn't getting picked. I know that's why his TV show he was upset that his TV show got canceled. I think he played a preacher or something. I
don't know. I'm not going to go back and look. The Clapper, 2018. Okay, that was obviously a failed comedy. Okay, well, with that, you can wrap the show up, John.
Come on, you got to do one more. That's
one more.
One more.
Let me find one.
You've got to make it a good one.
Make it a good one.
Or a bad one.
All right. How do we? No. 3 beats. Accidental Love from 2015. Real quick. You put me under pressure now, buddy. Okay, here we go. 2012, Assassin's Bullet.
At least it's a descriptive of the movie, hopefully, of what it's about, hopefully. I
don't know. It's supposed to be a combination of the Bourne Tankin and the Bond franchise that obviously failed. Anyway, with Christian Slater, that answers that.
Wait, Christian Slater's in a movie? Wow.
Whoa. Go figure.
The last movie I saw him in was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's the name of a movie?
No. I can't remember what it was. I don't remember what the movie's, but it was from the 80s. So, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Go to ODDASSITY. That's Audacity. That's our sponsor of Real Flicks Reviews. Use MadTrio, all one word, all caps, for 10% off your final order. Don't forget to tell all your friends about the MadTrio and our badass sponsors, Audacity. So, do us a favor. Check them out. Also, go to themadtrio.com. You can follow us, and we're all on a bunch of social media feeds. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the California Pariah, the fat man, the old guy, as always, thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.